Yesterday, my sister, the youngest one, asked me, Andre, what is the meaning of humanity? And I was like, "Oof, it's a tough question for, you know, to answer to the kid. Like she's 9. I was like, okay, you really want to know? Let's dive into the topic a little bit more. And it was interesting because I try to encourage my two little sisters that they create and be like as much of a creative person as they can be, because I remember when I was a little kid, I used to create a lot of things, a lot of useless things, but they were useless to me at the time. And it's interesting that I could have a kind of a grown-up conversation with a 9-year-old kid. We firstly dissected the meaning of what is the meaning and what is the purpose of something, and then we kind of discussed what is the meaning of like the planet or the organisms on the planet, and then what is the meaning of oneself, meaning of one's life, like what's I don't know, what's the teacher's meaning, what is the mother's meaning, and what is the father's meaning, and we kind of got an idea of what the meaning was, and then she kind of understood what we're talking about, and it was nice because we had like half an hour conversation about just one question. We could dive in, also I could dive into her mind, understanding her thinking. You have to lower yourself to their level when you're talking with kids, and be patient and be understanding that, like, every couple of minutes maybe they get distracted, they get some other idea, and so we got to the idea of the real meaning of humanity, of every human being or every sentient being, every living being, is actually to survive and to procreate. But we quickly got to the point that she got that idea, but what about people, because people have different meanings than animals. They just don't want to only survive. And I was like, okay, yeah, so what is the real meaning of humanity, like a whole? She got to that answer by herself. She got to the answer of creativeness, creativity, and like creation. Because I told her, well, if you have like food and if you have shelter and everything set and you already procreated, if you have small children and everything, what actually even is the meaning? Because a lot of animals in the wild, they die after they have kids, or just they're not important. But with humans, there's like, we are conscious, at least proven until unproven. We are the only sentient beings that are like beings that are conscious. And she kind of thought about it for a couple of minutes, and then we got to the like final answer that you need to create as a kid, and you need to create as a teenager, as a young adult, and especially you need to keep being creative when you're old. And this, like, that's a segue to today's video idea. A lot of we stop being creative. We lose our purpose in life, because when you're young, your purpose is maybe to finish school or to get some nice results in sports. And then when you get older, the purpose of your living is like getting a job, buying a house, and then, having kids, and then taking care of the kids and going to vacations every once in a while. And then when everything goes it goes very fast, in my opinion. Even if you enjoy everything, it still goes by very fast. And then at the end, like, if you don't if you're not being creative in the process, it's very hard at an old age to begin being creative again, or to learn something new. Because as you are being creative, you are like learning new things, and you're not stuck in a routine, and like, the routine of a job. And then, so yeah, like, you have more life energy. And as we got to that final idea, I also said, okay, let's ask ChatGPT what it will say. What's the real like meaning of humanity is? And Chat said that the real meaning is like creativeness, survivalship, having enough of a good relationship with people and stuff. And so yeah, so actually it was a very nice conversation with a 9-year-old kid, which I never thought I would have. But I also encouraged them to be like creative and thoughtful all the time. And because they're like girls, it's like better in a way because it's easier. And so yeah, it's like a very, I don't know, it's a weird video today. I don't know, but that's just my like my opinion, my idea, or what I interpreted as a very interesting conversation with a kid, and I wanted to share that because there's a lot we can learn from kids, like a lot, and being understandive, like being understanding kids when they ask those questions, it's important because they give us also a eye-opening perspective on things. And if the kid that is like 9 years old is thinking about what is the purpose of humanity, it's like, well, what else you got, right? So it's kind of interesting, having small children running around and like being your sister, and you can tell her everything. And so yeah, I think that's it for today. It's just I just wanted to make that video, talk about, encouraging you to be like more conscious about everything. Like, remember when you were a kid, you were like, oh, look at this, look at that, and then you kind of don't do that anymore. I encourage you to do that because life is beautiful and it's only one life. And I know this video is getting long, so I gotta quit, but I encourage you to be like as creative as possible and as, as curious as possible, because life will be more interesting. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you tomorrow.